Welcome everyone to the CONCACAF Connection International Break Edition, which means there's nothing going on, which means we're doing the 10 best wingers currently playing in the Premier League. We each have compiled a list. No Abdon, by the way. He's sick. Prayers up. Feel better.
RIP. RIP. Pour one out for the homie.
Pour one out for the homie. But yeah, we all have our lists. We don't know each other's lists, so this is going to be live reactions, obviously. And then we might touch on the Tonali Fagioli betting scandal afterwards if we feel like it, and maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll kind of see where this one goes. This will be shorter, like we said, because there's not much going on. So, Brandon, if you want to just lead us straight in,
give us right.
10 through 1, and then we'll talk about it for a little bit, and then move it to the next person and talk about theirs for a little bit. We'll just kind of do it that way.
Wait, okay, so you want to go 10 to 1?
Yeah.
10 to 1.
Okay. All right. In the 10th spot.
Oh, no.
We have, and I pulled up a whole bunch of stats, so, which, I mean, obviously you can't really, I mean, you could have watched highlights for all these players, but I'm not sure if any of you did that. I wasn't going to do that. Anyways, Martinelli is number 10. He has 1 goal, 2 assists this season. Have an average rating of 7.03. His passing is actually really good. Second best on this list. He completes 85.7% of his passes. And then he completes 1.5 dribbles per game and 0.8 key passes per game, which is pretty low for a winger, which is why he's 10. Plus his actual goals and assist ratio isn't very high. So, but he has a pretty good rating on average. He helps keep the ball with the team, obviously with his passer rating. So, I had to put him on the list at number 10. And then number 9, Anthony Gordon.
Ooh, that's a shout.
He was close. He was close to making mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has 2 goals, 2 assists this season. He creates 1.1 key passes per game, successful dribbles 1.7 times per game on average, obviously. Passing rating, I was actually surprised by this one. It's actually really good, 83.9%. And then his average rating is 7.46. I'm kind of surprised that he made this list. I haven't really been paying attention to him this season, but I kind of always saw him as just like a pace merchant that's going to trouble the other team. Not really a goals. I mean, like maybe we'll get the odd goal there. Never really assisted at Everton. So I was kind of like, I mean, I'll look him up. Well, I mean, I'll look at the stats, and I saw him, and I was like, oh, he's actually doing really well for 8 games with Newcastle. So I had no problems there with him. 8th is kind of, I think, a surprise. It was a surprise for me based off of how he's played this season, but his goal tally and assist tally, even though it's not good, other things prop him up, and that's Kulusevski at number 8. Obviously, only 2 goals this season, 0 assists, but he gets 2.6 key passes per game, which I'm pretty sure is the highest on this list of any. Okay, well, except for one player, he's the second on this list for 2.6 key passes per game. So the passes that he's making are very important. He dribbles players 1.6 times per game, has an average rating of 7.48, and his passing percentage is 80.1%. Like, his stats might not reflect that he's a good winger, but obviously wingers are more than just goals and assists. That's what you want. If your team's not scoring the goals, though, there's not much you can do as a winger other than get the goals yourself.
I'm glad that you brought these stats because I do not have any.
Okay.
I don't have it either. I was going to go rapid fire, yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't bring any stats, so I'm glad you did
You
this.
gave him a
because-
week, and he was like, "I'm gonna overachieve for once."
Yeah, dude. I'm honestly
it
this is
today.
clutch from you because I just went off my head.
Yeah. Because I knew I was like, this guy's good, and I looked at his stats and I was like, okay, maybe he's having a bad season. Yeah, we know. But like I said, like it's more than just the goals and assists. Like like I said, 2.6 key passes per game, second most on this list from a player. You have to put him on here for me because you can be a really great winger, but if your team is letting you down a little bit, which is weird to say because Spurs are playing really well this season, you gotta, you just gotta have him on the list for me. But anyways, on to seventh is
Based.
Sully Marsh.
Oh,
Yeah, three,
that's such a good shout.
yeah,
Oh, that's
3 goals, 1 assist this season. Um, Average rating is really high, 7.61. Um, Key passes, one per game, which is for the upper ends of this list is a little low. Completes 1.3 dribbles per game, and then passer rating is 81.4%. Kind of like a. I was thinking about him. I think he gets overshadowed because of Matoma. Like nobody thinks of the other winger for Brighton. Um, but pretty solid stats. Has contributed well to his team. Um, Once again, just like sorry. Passer rating really good. And that's on some of these players. That's kind of what kept them lower. It's like the passer rating was kind of low. So we'll get there when we get there for some of these players. Enough about him. In sixth, we have Phil Foden. Um, 1 goal, 3 assists this season. 1.1 key passes per game. 1.7 dribbles per game. Oh wait, never mind. That's wrong. Wrong stat. Still 1 goal and 3 assists. I was reading some other player stats. 2.5 key passes per game, which is right behind Kulusevski. 1.9 dribbles per game. And the best passer percentage on this list. 86.2% passes successfully completed. Uh, which is really good. Kind of not hard in a team like City. However, you still got to take it into account. Um, and then his average rating is a 7.31. Phil Foden kind of speaks for himself. We all know that he's good. We all know what he's capable of, and he's showing it again this season.
You do.
Now, onto the top five. Into the good stuff. Jared
Into the
Bowen.
meat of
Oh yes, I love
he was
that.
my
from-
top five.
Yeah. He 5 goals, 1 assist this season. Insane for him. Just picking it up. Didn't what were was it the season before last season or was it last season where he kind of popped off?
It was not last season, but the season before that.
yeah. Last
Yeah,
season
so
he
he's
kind
picking,
of down told.
yeah, he's kind of picking up his form from a couple seasons ago. Then, um, like I said, I mean, 5 goals, 1 assist. That's really good for any player. Um, Key passes is pretty freaking low though, only 0.6 per game. He kind of plays a little bit lower than a winger, but was gonna put him in anyway. Um, 1.3 dribbles per game. His pass rating is very bad. He only completes 75.3% of his passes, which up till now, all players have been at least 80%. If if his passer rating was better, he'd probably be higher on this list. But keeping the ball for your team is huge, and especially as a winger, like if you can't do that, that obviously sets you up for a bad counterattack. Average rating still good though, 7.35. So we know he's pretty consistent, and I mean West Ham are doing fairly good this season. So, and then number 4, Matoma. I mean, we all know. I just said we don't focus on Solly Marsh because Matoma's playing 3 goals, 3 assists, 2 key passes per game. Pretty good considering. Well, I guess considering nothing, Brighton are a good team. 1.9 dribbles per game. Pass percentage is really good as well, 83.8%. His rating's kind of low considering we all know who he is and what he's capable of. He's at 7.09 average rating. So maybe maybe he had one bad game or 2 bad games, but even with that, he has 3 goals, 3 assists, and we all rate him highly, I think. So I don't think anybody has a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it.
Number
No,
okay.
just kidding.
Number 3 on the list. This kind of surprised me just because I was kind of like, what the fuck? I was like, I didn't even think about this guy. Pedro Neto.
Yep.
Okay, good. I was hoping you had him. You didn't forget him.
Yeah, 1 goal, 5 assists. Dude, this guy's stats are so good. 2.5 key passes per game, 2.2 dribbles per game, pass rating 82.8%, average rating of 7.34. I mean, this guy he controls the play for Wolves, really. And his link-up play with, I think is it Hwang Hee-chan? He's linking up
Yep.
with the
Yeah.
most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Korean guy, as Pep wants to call him.
Yeah.
That can't be offensive nowadays. God.
Who's their main? Is it Fabio? Who's their main striker? Fabio Silva.
No, Fabio Silva
No,
isn't
it's
there anymore.
Baloney from Atletico Madrid. He's the Brazilian
Cunha.
striker.
Oh, Cunha.
Cunha.
Yeah, he has I don't know who. I can't remember which player it is, but he has 3 assists to this one guy on their team. I don't remember who it is. So he and him have some chemistry going on, and he's just bringing the heat this season. 1 goal isn't a lot, but the 5 assists. I mean, you can't just not look at that and be like, damn, this guy's doing everything you want to as a winger. All right. Now 1 and 2, kind of interchangeable.
I think we'll all have the same 1 and 2, though.
Yeah. And the only reason this guy's 2.
Oh, he put Mo Salah too. That's crazy.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know I'm gonna get slated for this. He loses the ball a lot. I didn't bring those stats with me, but the amount of times he gets dispossessed in a game on average is 4 times per game, or maybe probably higher than that.
Can I ask you a question? You brought all these stats, and they bring the one stat you're gonna criticize a man on.
I was thinking about writing it down just because I knew you were gonna say some smug shit like that.
Well, I'm not gonna say that your opinion's your opinion, but I mean you gotta know how many times he's been dispossessed, how many times he's lost the ball.
That's gonna be your main argument. You got to bring the stats.
Yeah, you gotta bring the stats. You can't be like, well, I think he loses the ball a lot.
It ain't hard for me. I can look it up real quick.
Look it up real quick then.
All right.
No. Continue your list. I'll look it up. Continue your list.
Finish your list.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Okay. Anyways, so Salah's second. Insane stats. 5 goals, 4 assists, key passes 2.1 per game. Dribbles. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? 1 per game. Average rating 7.58. Passing is a little bit low for him, 78.7. Once again, another guy below 80. But the name speaks for itself. We all know Mo Salah.
I don't.
And then number 1, we all know who number 1 is.
You're muted. I can't hear you.
No,
What?
your audio's going. Your audio's going bad. Daniel.
Wait.
Daniel,
We can all.
we can hear you.
Give me 1 sec. I cannot hear any of you guys. I'm gonna leave real quick.
Oh. What?
His audio probably just cut out real quick.
Oh.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
Anyways, Saka number 1. Pretty simple. 4 goals, 2 assists this season. most key passes on this list per game, 2.7.
You guys hear me now?
1.9 dribbles per game. Best average rating of all these players, 7.74. And then he keeps the ball for his team really well, and his passing is 83.9%, which is 5% more than Salah. Daniel, we can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Yeah,
There we
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the fuck happened.
it's probably. I don't know either.
Who was your number
It's
one?
all
I'm
right.
assuming it was Bukayo Saka.
go. Yeah, it was Saka. 4 goals,
Yeah.
2 assists, 2.7 key passes per game, 1.9 dribbles per game. I said he had the highest rating of all average rating of all these players at a 7.74. And then I said his passing success rate is an 83.9%, which is 5% more than Salah.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't get dispossessed as much as Salah. So
And you just have this hate over Salah for whatever
I
reason.
don't. If I hated Salah, he would not be 2.
But it's just that, like, you always, whenever we talk about, like, the best attacking players, you're like, you always bring up, like, the XG or whatever the fuck it is.
It's that he takes too many shots and doesn't convert.
Yeah,
them.
that's what it was. Yeah.
I mean, to be
He
fair,
won't criticize
he's a
Ronaldo
number
about
one.
that though.
when I looked up who took the most shots, it was Salah. He was the only player that had over 20 shots.
Yeah, but
Conversion rate.
if you did that to Cristiano Ronaldo, you wouldn't slate him that same way.
Ronaldo's a different beast.
That's favoritism. It's because he's brown.
No,
That's it.
Ronaldo's a different beast. Ronaldo's a different beast.
So these are the only 2 stats because there's not anything that really tells you.
What are you looking at?
Like I'm looking at his
Or what site are you using?
successful dribbles. I'm using both the Premier League and FootMob. So
Okay.
he's only completed 30% of his successful dribbles, but he is ranked 20, tied with Antoine Semenyo for most dispossessions, which is at 12. So, yeah, that's how many times he's been dispossessed or lost possession of the ball. So I can kind of see where you're coming from, but I would say his dribbling is not the best. But I don't know.
Well, okay, so I was using Who Scored, and their stats are ridiculously detailed.
Look at who scored. Because there's not anything for just losing possession. So it's like a number of things. It's like probably
I can look up.
errors, and you could argue it's like errors in passing, dispossessions, which are being tackled or losing the ball. This successful dribbles. So, I mean, off successful dribbles alone, he's only completed 30% of his dribbles, which is not great. That's 1 in 3.
Yeah, not very high.
But
Really bad for a winger.
I like your list. I think there's
I-
only 2 players that you had that I didn't have,
I wonder
and I
who
have
that-
2 players that you didn't have.
Okay.
So
yeah, I can't defend the Mo Salah thing.
yeah, I can't.
But
defend
if
that.
that's my only criticism, it's a pretty good list.
Yeah, that's my only criticism, really.
I put him
Also,
too.
Yeah, but
Solly March is a good shout.
Solly March is a good shout. Criminal that I didn't list him on mine.
Yeah, I totally didn't even think of him.
I have honorable mentions.
Hmm.
I have 3 actually. Is that too much?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
rip him off.
I had Hwang Hee-chan on there. It's just his average rating was really low, and his key passes was almost. I think it actually was the worst of all these players at only 0.3 per game. He's had 1 key pass the whole season. And he's come off the bench 3 times. Just there's not quite enough there for me from him.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy on here, 4 goals. I'm not sure I read his goals and assists. He had 5 goals, 0 assists. And Mbeumo had 4 goals, 0 assists.
He's an
I-
honorable mention. Too.
I wanted to put in Mbeumo, but he hasn't been playing as a winger this season. He's been playing up
as a
top.
striker.
Yeah, so that's
Really?
that's the only reason. He is a right winger. He played right wing all last season. But because I
Okay.
guess the loss of Anthony, or not Anthony,
Tony.
not Tony.
Tony.
Yeah, Tony. Thank you.
Ivan Toney.
Yeah, Ivan Tony. I wanted to say Antonio. I was like, that's not right. Yeah, the loss of Ivan
Okay.
Tony. I think he's been forced to play up top
Yeah.
with Wisa.
I think that might be why I didn't put him on the list, because I looked at the heat map and I was like, oh, he's not really playing that much on the wing.
No, unfortunately, because I think the right wing is his best position.
Yeah.
But
And
he
then,
also is a goal scoring threat, so I kind of get it.
Yeah.
And then, actually, I think that it might just be the two. Yeah, it's just two.
All right, fair enough.
I can go next.
Yeah, go for it, Eddie.
I guess I'll just say my honorable mentions since Emblemo was one. I only wrote down two. My other honorable mention was Marcus Rashford. And that was mostly because of what we know him to be, more so based on less so based on what he is right now. He's become a little bit of a purple patch player, which is why I left him off this list. But still a quality player, so I wanted to shout him out. I'll just rip these off real quick since Brandon brought most of the stats. 10, I went Luis Diaz. 9, Kulusevski. 8, Martinelli. 7, Musa Diaby. 6, Jared Bowen. 5, Phil Foden. 4, Pedro Neto. 3, Matoma. 2, Saka. 1, Salah.
I was looking at Diaz's stats. Doesn't he have like 0 goals, 0 assists
He's got 2 goals.
Yeah.
in the Prem?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It lied to me. It showed me 0 goals, 0 assists.
You looked at the wrong Diaz, probably.
No, I was looking at the right one because I spelled his name wrong initially.
You just looked at the wrong Diaz.
That's crazy.
And Diaz, I mostly used, like you said before we started, it's more just about the eye test. Like every time I watch him, even though he hasn't been the best to start the season, he's just always a threat.
See, kind of what you said earlier about Marcus Rashford. With Luis Diaz is kind of the reason I left him off my list and out of the top 10 is because he is a great player. I don't think anyone can question that. He hasn't had the best season. But when you look at what he was last season, I know this is based on this season, but you look at the contribution he did last season and then the level he's brought this season, it's the same reason I wouldn't put Marcus Rashford in here. Because though we know he's such a good goal scorer and always a threat, he hasn't lived up to his level. And I mean, it's not been bad. I mean, he could have easily made my top 10. I just think that there have been other players who've just been better for their teams. And that's why, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I almost left him off. Like, he was 10, so he was the last one in. But I also, Doku, I almost put on also. Doku, I guess, would be another honorable mention. I like him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think by the end of this season, Doku will firmly be on the list. But obviously, it's based on right now. But yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with your list. I think it was a good shout.
Yeah.
I'm scared to say mine. I think I'm gonna ruffle some feathers.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Here
mine as well.
All right, let's
mine's
hear it.
Mine's not even based off of like statistics mine's not based off of like playing styles or anything. Mine's based off of like solely like goal contribution stats.
So
Like I didn't even take into consideration like wing plays and like I was not like Brandon who went like super in depth, which is what I probably
Brandon went so in depth.
So
I love it.
Gonna go then.
So before I go, then I'm gonna preface this. Mine is based off of not just statistics. It's based off of, like you guys said, the eye test, but it's also based off the teams in which they're playing in, and what they're providing for their teams this season.
That's fair.
So 10, I put Hwang Hee-chan because I think that while you're right, he hasn't had that many, like, his stats don't back up the top 10 plays. When you look at that Wolves team that struggles to create anything for anyone, where Neto is the sole like spark in that team, and where they struggle to score goals, I think the fact that he has 5 goals, I mean,
5 assists and 1 goal.
no, that's Neto. I'm not talking about Neto.
Oh, you're talking about Hwang.
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind.
And so I think that when you need that outlet, when your team can't score goals, I think when you have a winger that can score goals, it's like he's irreplaceable this season, and he's really leveled up from what was last season on the finishing standpoint, because he had chances last season, but they couldn't finish last season. So I think he's been great for Wolves as like a way to get them results and the way he's been basically pulling them up with Neto. So I put him as 10. Number 9, I put Jack Grealish. And that's because I think, and I know everyone's going to sit here and go, oh, Jack Grealish, like, he's not the same player as he was. He's not, his stats don't back up, like, his level. I think that Jack Grealish has never, been a goal scorer. Jack Grealish has always been a phenomenal, winger that can pick the ball up, carry it, dribble, draw fouls, and create opportunities. That's fine. He's always been able to create opportunities. And I think that when you see Jack Grealish coming up against your defender, he's tricky because he can, churn, the direction at like the drop of a dime. He's always someone that you're fearful when he's in the box because he'll either win a penalty, can get an assist, can create opportunities. And I know people are going to sit there and go, well, he hasn't created enough opportunities, but everyone's been slating Haaland recently for all the misses. And I'm not saying that every chance Grealish is created.
The difference between Haaland and Grealish is Haaland has 8 goals.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, what I'm saying is,
One
everyone
assist,
goes.
one assist, one assist.
I'm not arguing the goal scoring. I just literally said Grealish isn't a goal scorer. Never has been. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that every chance Grealish has created has been for Haaland. But when people go, well, he has 1 assist. Yeah, he's played in less than half the games. If you're going off rating and stats, Brand, he's got a 7.15 rating in only 4 games. And I think when you create 7 opportunities and the only person in that team that's really been a goal threat is Haaland, he's missed so many opportunities. I mean, who knows how many assists he really could genuinely have.
See, for me, I also put in, like, they had to, like, play a certain amount of games.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I was like, well, I don't want a player to have, like, 1 good game or 2 good games and have only played 4 games and have stupid stats but haven't played the rest of the season.
That's fair. But I also think that another reason I put Jack Grealish in is because I think at City, your game changes a lot. And I think the most evident recent one that we've seen that is with your striker, Brandon. Gabriel, Gabriel Jesus, thank you. No, Gabriel Jesus, because Gabriel Jesus is a completely different player now than he was at Manchester City. Manchester City, you have to play a much stricter way to Pep's way, and I don't know if it wasn't Pep being the manager. That I'm not saying that Grealish would be better, but I'm saying that we'd definitely be seeing Grealish play a different style.
No, he'd probably be better.
Yeah, maybe. 8, I put Kulusevski because I think while he's been a very creative spark, and there's been a lot of missed chances there on his end, but just they haven't been what am I trying to say? He's created opportunities. He's always a spark, is what I'm trying to say. Whether or not people are taking the opportunities creating, like Richarlison, we know has been pretty poor this season. I'm not going to blame his assist tally on that. But I think Kulusevski has been, at times, like, he's been that player to, like, kind of pull Tottenham up and, like, be the main focal point at times. Not Madison's there, obviously. Madison's been that guy. But I think Kulusevski still has it when you think of what was it, 4-3 win? Was it 4-3?
What game?
Edwin?
Sheffield?
Sheffield when you guys won at the last minute with his Kulusevski.
It was 3-2.
3-2. I think that he's been such a maybe not clutch player, but he's been so good for Tottenham. He rarely puts a foot wrong.
2-1. Just kidding.
2-1. Yeah, I think he's been great for Tottenham.
Where did 4-3 come from?
I don't know. I was thinking about something else clearly. Number 7, Anthony Gordon. I think that he's just been unplayable at times, and I think that he's really developed. And kind of same thing with Grealish. He is a tricky winger. He's got pace. He can beat you one-on-one, run down that line, create havoc. And I think he's just been sensational. Been one that, especially when they were struggling at the beginning of the season, I thought he was one of the only bright spots in that Newcastle team. Number 6, I put Martinelli because though I know he's been injured, I think Martinelli is so important for the way Arsenal play. And I also think that with Martinelli, he's got a whole different profile than Saka does, where Saka is going to, kind of hold up play more, interlink passes, play 1-2s, very easy to play off of. I think Martinelli is that kind of more of a Neymar build where he's going to take that ball and he's going to force his way in to create an opportunity, or just to draw foul. And I think that he gives Arsenal something else because Arsenal don't really have anyone else besides Gabriel Jesus, but I don't think Gabriel Jesus is that type of player either. I think Gabriel Jesus is just a little bit more of a deep line striker that can kind of spray passes wide to the wingers. 4, I put Bowen because I think that Bowen has been a big reason why this Newcastle.
Skip 5.
Did I skip 5? Oh,
Yeah.
I did skip 5. I'm sorry.
Bowen's 5.
Matoma is number 5.
Okay.
I think Matoma is same thing, kind of like Martinelli. He's phenomenal. He's really leveled up this season, and I think that whenever we've seen it in a couple games this season already, whenever Brighton need just a creative spark, he is that guy to kind of just take the ball, run forward, beat defenders, maybe score a goal here or there, maybe get an assist. But especially in the first 4 or 5 games this season, he looked world class. I mean, I know that Brighton themselves have kind of downtooled a little bit, but I mean, Matoma has been a consistent key player and playing at a high level for that team. Number 4, like I said, Bowen. I just think he's a big reason why this West Ham team has overperformed. He's got more goals than he was expected to get. I think that he offers them something. He offers them a goal scoring threat, something that maybe they haven't had previously. Because like Antonio, while he can score worldies, he's not that consistent goal scorer. And I think when you need someone, though he's not the best creative player, he's not the best dribbler. I think when you are the focal point in an attack, I think it speaks highly of how good you are in your team. Top 3, I'm gonna spin them off real quick. Number 3 is Neto. Don't think I have to touch up on that. Number 2 is Saka, and number 1 is Mohamed Salah.
Yep.
Yeah, because I just think while Mohamed Salah does lose the ball, and I think that maybe he could be better in that area. I just think that there's no way you can downplay just what he brings to that Newcastle team. Not Newcastle team. God, I keep saying Newcastle. Liverpool. Just because, I like Saka. I think Saka is great. I said it before a couple episodes ago. I think Saka is now not just one of the best wingers in the Prem, but one of the best wingers in the world. I still think that when you need someone to break a team down, I think Mo Salah is going to be more likely that guy. Because I think Mo Salah's movement is better. And I think that Mo Salah obviously is a better finisher. But he doesn't have the pass maybe Saka does. But I just think that when you need someone, just a bit of magic, Mohamed Salah more often than not is that guy. That's my top 10.
Right. I had to walk away after hearing all that.
That's fine.
I'm just kidding.
I like your list. I just think you guys are, at least Brandon and Jose, we haven't heard Daniel's list yet. I just think you guys are sleeping on Diaby.
I looked at his stats and
he's
I don't
not
know
really
how
playing as a winger, in my opinion.
he was.
He is.
It shows on the heat map that he's a winger.
I just feel like every time I've seen where he's done something really great, it's been through the middle. And maybe that's just... Well, I'm not saying that wingers can't go through the middle, but I mean, when I see you consistently everything going through the middle, it makes me think that you're not really a winger as much as you are playing.
Maybe he's an Iron Robin type. Always cuts himself.
But I haven't seen him. I don't think I've seen him cut in once this season. I could be wrong, but I don't think I've seen him cut in once.
The last few games I'm seeing he's been starting as a striker.
Thank you.
So even though he is traditionally a winger, I think Unai Emery's utilizing him as a striker.
Yeah, kind of the same reason I didn't put Mbeumo, because if Mbeumo was in this team or in this list, if he wasn't playing as a striker, Jack Grealish wouldn't have made this list.
Look at the heat map.
He's kind of everywhere.
He's kind of everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. He's primarily on the wing, but he's also there's a lot right there around the penalty spot in the center.
Yeah, in the center. That's weird that he's kind of in the center, but there's a lot of it is pretty hot on the sides.
Yeah, and I listen, Diaby's been great. I just don't know if I can classify him as a winger. But to also be fair, I haven't watched a lot of Aston Villa this season. I just know that a lot that's come good for them is I think his name is Thuram. He came in from the MLS. Colombian striker, I think. He's South American, I'm pretty sure. He's been very good, and then obviously Diaby. They're the two where I know.
Duran.
Yeah,
Duran.
yeah. Duran.
Duran.
Duran. He's like 19, 20, Colombian, I think.
Yeah, him and Ollie Watkins have been really good too.
Yeah, him, Ollie Watkins. Well, Ollie Watkins, I think he's been about his level, so he hasn't really like drawn eyes to him. But I think that those two guys, being newcomers, they've been, I think, the hot sparks this season for Aston Villa so far. But I'm not saying he hasn't been bad. I just don't know. Like I said, everything I've seen, and I haven't seen enough of Aston Villa, it just makes me think that he's more best suited in the central parts of the area or of the field. That's all.
Yeah.
But I could be wrong, and that's perfectly fine.
Daniel, give us your list, baby.
Once again, I'll preface this. This is not based off of like how appealing they look to the eye, like on 1v1s and like other. This is just solely based off of just goals and assists. So top 10 for starting at number 10 is Martinelli with 2 assists, 1 goal. Number 9 is Richarlison with 2 assists, 1 goal. Phil Foden, 3 assists, 1 goal. Edouard from Crystal Palace, 4 goals, 0 assists. This is based off of just goals and assists.
Edouard? Isn't he he's a striker?
Oh, you've had a
He's
mare.
playing as a winger.
You've had a mare.
Huh? What'd you say?
Go, continue your list. Continue your list.
Number 6 is Hwang Yi-chan, 0 assists, 5 goals. Number 5 is Neto, 5 assists, 1 goal. 4 is Bowen, 1 assist, 5 goals. Mitoma's third, 3 assists, 3 goals. Saka, 2 goals, or 2 assists, 4 goals. And then Salah, 5 goals, 4 assists.
Can I be honest with your list?
It's pretty shit, I know.
Yeah, it just reeks of I looked at the highest stats.
That's honestly what I did. I should have. I know, because if I done what you guys did, which is what I should have done, the list would have been a lot different.
I would love to hear Abdon's list. It'd be Sterling and Mudryk 1 and 2.
No, I think he put most Salah first.
I should have done better. And honestly, if I actually incorporated like actual better wingers and not just off of their goals and assist numbers, and like looked at wingers and what they're capable of doing apart from getting goals and assists, it would be a lot different.
Yeah.
100%. But that's my list.
His face.
Who? Jose?
Jose's face when you put when you said.
Bro, I heard Richarlison. I knew that list was mudded. You told me Richarlison's been one of the best players in the league.
By goals and numbers, yeah.
By goals
and numbers,
by goals and numbers, Kulusevski's better. No, maybe not.
No, he's got 2 goals, where Richarlison's got 2 goals and 1 assist. No, it's. Yeah, I'm told I fucked it. I'm not gonna lie to you, I fucked it, but
I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, you're okay, Daniel.
No, like I was just going off of just like goals and assists. I was not going off of like actual proper wingers and what they're capable of doing. Because if that's the case, Kulusevski would have been on the list. Richarlison would have not been on the list. Edouard from Crystal Palace would have not been on the list.
But Daniel, can I ask you a question? And I don't know how to not phrase it without sounding like an asshole, so I'm gonna preface that.
I don't care. What? What
were we ranking?
I think he was ranking goals and assist tallies.
No, I know, but what are we ranking in the league? Like, what was today's list? It was the best wingers in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
if I go, because Richarlison hasn't been playing winger every game. He has not. The last few games, though. Okay, but like we're talking. If that's the case, then like I could have put Mbeumo in this list.
And it's the same thing with Son. I would have put Son on the list as well.
He has not been. I think you're saying you put Son on the list.
No, I'm just saying if that's I could have put Son on the list because he hasn't been striker the entire season.
Facts. So, he has not.
He's not,
goes
but
both ways.
he's been for like 6 games. And even if you did put him as a winger, I'd be like valid, but like he was not good as a winger this season.
No, I'm. Look, I'm not telling you that my list is good. 'Cause it's
I
not.
know, I
I'm not
know.
saying that at all.
I know. I'm just
But
giving you shit.
no, because after like hearing what your guys' list, I'm like, yeah, I really fucked my list up. So that's my bad.
It's all right.
You're
But
good.
off of goals and
Mm.
assists, those are in theory the best wingers in the league.
It's okay. Next week's list, I'm expecting greatness from you.
Yeah, it'll be better for
We're
sure.
having a list next week. The Prem
Yeah,
comes back up.
sure. That's fine. We said we wanted to switch up the format anyway.
I know, but I still figured we'd talk about the biggest games as well during the
Well, yeah, we'll do the biggest games and then a list.
Because next week isn't it Chelsea Arsenal?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
So that's the reason I'm like I'm more than happy to do lists. But yeah,
We'll do a list afterwards.
okay, valid. We could
I'll come
live.
up with an idea for a list.
Maybe
and
we
then
could maybe we could actually live stream the game, or not
Yeah.
live stream, but like do commentary on the game while it's going live.
I'm not
What
ready
day
for
is the game?
Yeah, and then just do a list for the podcast.
I'm not ready for this. It's gonna be so ass. We're gonna
What
lose.
day is the game? Oh, it's Saturday.
It's
I
not-
can't do
Yeah.
it.
I won't be able to do it either.
Guess it'll just be lonely me. It's okay.
I can do it.
Oh, hey Brandon, what's up, bro? Well, let's do it then.
You
Let's do
three.
it then.
You, Abdon, and Brandon can do it. The 3 fans of
Dude,
the
that makes
team.
sense.
But nah, I'm gonna have to be the mediator because Abdon's gonna go crazy.
The 3 fans of the teams can do it. And then I'll be watching Tottenham Fulham alone on Monday.
Dude, Abdon's been trying to get my goat, and I'm not having it.
Not having it.
At 11:30, I'll definitely be awake for it.
No, you won't, liar.
I literally will be. It's 11:30 a.m. in the morning.
AM in the morning.
I had to extra emphasize it.
Extra emphasize it.
I'm sending y'all the shared note.
Bet.
Um,
I'm trying.
Decline?
I'm trying to think. You know what? I think Brandon, you're the only one that I think about that had Phil Foden in their list.
No.
Eddie didn't
I
have
don't
Phil
think so.
Foden.
no, I had him. Yes,
Oh,
I
did you?
did.
Did you?
I had him 5th.
Oh, did you? You know, I don't know. There's something about Phil Foden. Like, I like Phil Foden a lot, and I know he's been playing as a winger. I just don't feel like his best position is the wing.
Doesn't matter if it's
I know he's
That's
been good. I know he's been playing well there. I'm not. That's not the argument. I don't think you're wrong for that.
not in the Premier like that.
I just think
That's
that it'd
hot.
be good. Well,
I'm-
let's do that because we've only been doing this for 49 minutes. Let's do this. If you had to bring a winger from outside the Premier League,
Kvaratskhelia.
who would you bring in?
Kavicha, yeah. Kavicha.
Yeah.
Kavicha? You bring Kavicha in this
Yep.
season?
Yep.
I don't know.
Are you saying to my team?
No, to your list. It can be your team too if you want to
Oh,
bring him
your
in. But I'm
list.
talking about outside of England.
Oh,
If you were gonna be
so basically,
if
who's
you're gonna
the best
add-
winger in the world outside of the Prem?
yeah, if you were gonna swap one of the positions, doesn't matter which one on your top 10.
It
Who
be
would you
Vinicius.
bring in? Oh, Vinicius is a good shout.
This season?
Yeah.
Well, Vinicius is injured.
Oh yeah,
Been
true.
Injured for a minute.
Oh, then I guess. Well, how's Kavicha playing this season?
He's not been.
He's not been what he was
Amazing.
last season.
He's been average.
But Napoli's not been what they were last season.
Fair.
Sorry. I'm really trying to think of like a winger where I'm like, wow, they've been super sensational. Leao has been good, but I don't think he's been sensational.
I mean, he's got
Adeyemi's always
3
a great
goals,
shout.
3 assists in 8 games.
I mean, he has been pretty good. I guess for his standards, it doesn't shock us anymore. You know what I mean? It's like once you get to a
Yeah.
certain level, like your normal quality, which is phenomenal, it's just like, oh, that's what's expected.
Who would I bring?
I would honestly bring Leao or what's his name? The Japanese winger from Real Sociedad.
Oh,
Kubo?
Ooh,
That is
you
a
know
shout.
what?
That's a huge
I would
shout.
bring Kubo because I think
That's a
Kubo has
big
been
shout.
sensational.
One of them 2 boys I would bring in.
I think Kubo's really leveled up Real Sociedad this season.
Daniel, you just made up for your list.
Yeah, that right there. Yeah, your list 10 out of 10 now. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but better.
Well, if you
If
replace
you-
one of the players, if you replace Edouard with Kubo, then you're good.
Just
Your
4
mic.
goals.
Oh, there we go. All right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. How many? I'm gonna look right now and see how many games Edouard truly played as a winger.
If he wasn't injured right now, another one I would say Chiesa.
Yeah.
You see,
Chiesa's really.
I like Chiesa as a player. I just think, and I know it's this based off this season, but I just think in general, Chiesa's levels dropped off so much in the last 2 years. He's not the
Well,
player
maybe
he was during the Euros.
the
Like,
heat map's not looking good, Daniel.
He has
What?
4 goals this season.
does he
So
really?
the heat map's not looking good.
Chiesa has 4 goals
it
in 7
not?
games.
It looks
Good for
pretty
Chiesa.
central to me.
Good for Chiesa.
He's just hurt, so
Yeah, I don't know.
if he wasn't hurt-
I just feel like I don't know. And again, I haven't watched enough Serie A, and I haven't watched Juventus enough this season. I just think that I remember when Chiesa bursted on the scene. I was like, "Yo, this kid is phenomenal." 3 years later, I'm like, "Yeah, he's good." I don't know if I go phenomenal anymore, but he's good. I don't think I'd buy him over like Kvaratskhelia or like
No.
Leroy Sané or something.
Yeah.
Because Leroy Sané's been
Daniel-
really good last couple of years.
Never mind.
We're gonna say Brandon.
I'll talk about it after the chat or
Oh,
after the pod.
okay. Well, do we want to talk? We've only been recording for like 42 minutes. Do we want to talk really quickly about the gambling or nah?
I don't know much about it.
I don't know either. So you'd have to lead the segment.
I just know that they
So what's the situation?
I just know that they were gambling and that they got suspended. That's the extent of my knowledge.
So
Well, Tonali didn't get suspended. The other,
Oh yeah, Tonali did
He
get
hasn't got
suspended.
suspended yet. I'm sure he will.
he's under investigations because he wasn't. I guess he wasn't like. He was part of it, but like he wasn't. I guess he wasn't like gambling or something like that.
oh,
I think he was gambling through somebody, so
Oh.
technically he was.
oh! Fagioli claims Sandro Tonali introduced him to illegal betting sites. Oh, he's throwing them.
That's
He's
what it
snitching. He's snitching.
Crazy.
He's
Something like that.
snitching.
So
Alright.
he's cooperating, but yeah, he's not as of right now. He's not suspended, but what's his name? Fagioli.
Fagioli. We were talking about that earlier. You're not live. We're fine.
Fagioli.
Fagioli. So
I
here's
just didn't know how to pronounce it.
this is an article from Football Italia about the betting scandal between Fagioli, Tonali, and Zanioli. So it says that the three are all involved in the betting scandal, but their situations are very different, and the same goes for the possible outcome of investigations. It says that the Turin prosecutor is conducting a criminal investigation into illegal betting, which first involved Fagioli. It said that given that professional footballers are not allowed to gamble on football matches, even though they're legit platforms, Fagioli has already been heard by the Turin prosecutor many times, although his involvement in the case came to light recently. Well, that's not good. The Juventus midfielder self-reported to FIGC. What is the FIGC? I don't know what the FIGC is.
That's the federation. That's the Italian Football Federation.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
He admitted to gambling on football games, and he also sought help from a therapist to treat his gambling addiction. And revealed that all he knew about the case was that Sandro Tonali was also involved. Bro, he snitched.
He snitched on
He snitched on himself, but then he brought in Tonali's name. I bet
Maybe
it was.
a ruse.
No, I bet it was a plea. I bet they were like, "Hey, like if you tell us someone else, maybe we'll listen. Maybe we'll lessen
Instead of
the
getting
sentence."
banned for life, we'll ban you for 7 months.
Yeah, and he was like, "All right, Sandro Tonali. He's not even here anymore." What? That's
Who's,
a good question.
Who Fagioli played for?
Juve.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because could the Italian Federation, they might be able to ban him from international duty with Italy, but they can't ban him from league play.
Yeah, they can. The
They
FA
can't.
bans.
They're just
The,
choosing
the
not
British
to.
FA can, but what if the British FA just
I'm
The FA
They don't
ban
banned
want
nine.
to. They
Tony.
don't want to.
Yeah,
That's why.
but Tony was banned for betting on Premier League
That's
games.
the huge problem right now is that like they're completely dismissive with Tonali, but when it comes to Ivan Tony, they banned him for
okay. Well, I guess
what,
it.
like a year?
When was Tonali betting on the games last season? Is that what was happening?
Apparently, it sounds by the sound of it, it sounds like Tonali was the. Let me see. I'm looking right now. Hold on. Well, it says Fagioli has reported or negotiated a plea bargain with FIGC prosecutors and expected to know the ban this week. Multiple sources in Italy claim the players' lawyers hope to get banned between 7 and 8 months while the prosecutors seek a 1-year suspension. In any case, that's just about this campaign. Like, Gazette has reported that the ex-Milan star Sandro Tonali is in a hurry to be heard by the Turin and FIGC prosecutors. Tonali has also started a path to treat his gambling addiction and is reportedly willing to self-report and collaborate with authorities just like Fagioli did. However,
Self-report.
yeah, they're going to self-report. However,
Make
investigators are still scanning Tonali's devices seized at Covaciano last week. According to Gazzetta, it is still unclear whether the Italian international gambled on Milan matches while playing for the Rossoneri, and the FIGC prosecutors will only offer a plea bargain if Tonali's claims are credible and match what investigators will find on his mobile phones and tablets. It believed that the Italian midfielder will learn the length of his ban in a few months, but will be suspended for longer than Fagioli. And it says that the Zaniolo situation is entirely different, but that's the thing. Zaniolo is also in the Premier League now with Aston Villa. His lawyers have claimed that Zaniolo never gambled on football games, but only played poker and blackjack, not knowing that the apps he had been using were illegal. Maybe. I don't know. That's kind of...
Here's my stance on sports betting from athletes in general.
Shouldn't do it.
Should
do it.
As long as you're not betting on your team, or I guess that's hard to... So I don't have an issue with it as long as you're not betting on your own league and your own team. Otherwise, go for it. Like, sports betting is so popular now, and it's such a big industry, especially with younger adult men. It's that stigma that sports betting is this big, like, illegal thing is starting. Maybe it's less so in other countries. At least in America, it's becoming in vogue to bet on sports. Like, it's cool. Like, it's fun to bet on sports, like fantasy sports and things like that. Like, so as long as you're not betting on your own team, or I guess betting on your own league, like, which I guess they were doing, so obviously that's an issue. But, like, so what? If they want to gamble, let them gamble. Just as long as they aren't doing it on their own, like betting on or against their own team or within their own league. I don't have an issue with players betting.
I'll take it a step further. I have no issues with a player betting within their league. Like, if you're Tonali and you're betting on an Arsenal Chelsea game, that has nothing to do with you. You're not playing for either of those.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that, I guess, too. Like, if Son wanted to bet on the Aston Villa Fulham game, yeah, that has nothing to do. He has no control over the outcome of that game. Now, if he bet on, which I don't know why he would ever do this, but if he bet on Spurs to lose to Man City, he could drop stinker, and then he's making himself money. There we have an issue.
See,
For me,
If he wants to bet on Wolves Everton, I don't see the problem. He has no say over the outcome of that game.
Here's why I disagree. I think he does have a say, more in say than you do. Someone like Tonali, I think that it'd be very easy with the connections you have at that level to easily go, hey, I'm going to bet on this game. I'm going to bet like a lot of money. And the churn and the reject, like, because we're not talking about someone that's betting $50, $100. We're talking about someone that could bid a weekly salary that's $150,000 and come back with $500K. And you could go at that level when you have so many connections. You could go to a ref and be like, "Yo, listen, I'll give you some of this money. I'll cut you in. Like, help me out." I think like this is obviously a case for when you're a big time player. This isn't like a third string on like Burnley's team where it's like, "Hey, I'm gonna bet. Like, can you help me?" No, I'm talking about stars in general. But you can't play favorites, so then you have to you have to kind of buckle down in. I don't think that I agree. If it's not in, actually, no, I don't agree because I think when you're that level, the connections you have, it's not like if you or me were to gamble, Eddie. Like we don't have any control on the fixtures. Other people do at that level. I'm not saying that I'm not saying that they had a hand and that they paid refs or anything, but I think that that's always a possibility.
Well,
And
at that point,
I think
at
that's
that
why
point,
players shouldn't be allowed to bet
At that
in
point, it's
general.
match fixing. It's not just sports betting.
Well, yeah,
It's-
and that's what this is. It's match fixing. Like that's the big issue. It's because people have dropped stinkers. That's why Paqueta was under involvement because you look at Paqueta last season and then this season the level of play is way different. And
But
you're
even
basically
then-
fixing matches.
even then, you think a billionaire couldn't bet on a match?
Oh,
and just be
100%.
like- and then pay the ref and be like, "Hey, have it go this way." Then that just means all sports were fixed.
No, I'm against anyone that has any type of involvement in the actual game, whether it's owning a club, whether it's working for a club, whether it's promoting stuff. You shouldn't be able to gamble. You shouldn't be
but
able to
I'm saying,
gamble.
I'm saying, what if Elon Musk bet on a game? He could just call up a ref and be like, "Hey, throw the game."
Yeah, and then that's a whole other issue. But then you look at the refs and you eliminate whoever the ref was. I mean, that's a much easier thing. You can't go, we can't go like Todd Bowley match fix this game with these 7 refs and then, all of these people in the federation. Now you got a bigger problem, a systemic problem of match fixing.
Well,
I don't know. I think
easier said than done because they were talking. I mean, what's his name through a few of the games last season for Chelsea because that one ref was going through like a hard time or whatever.
who?
He's talking
One of the
about
refs
yeah.
I don't remember who it was. One of the refs in England is like a huge Chelsea fan, and I guess like in his own personal life, he was going through some shit.
It wasn't a
And
Chelsea
one of the
fan.
referees, I thought he was.
No, it was a ref that had made some poor decisions and was getting a lot of attention in the media, and the VAR assistants were helping him, or were trying to defend his choices. That was the big scandal that came out. I don't know
I guess
about
I
this
must
other
get-
Chelsea one. You could be
I
right.
think,
But
no,
also-
maybe I misheard. Maybe that was the one that you were talking about. I just misread it.
I think that one of the decisions may have been during a Chelsea game, but it wasn't. If it's the same one we're talking about, I don't remember the ref's name, but it basically was they were like, "Oh, we were trying to give him a break. We were basically trying to cut him a break because he was going through a hard
that's
time."
what I was talking about.
Yeah.
I misread then.
Yeah.
So never mind.
But I don't know. I get where you're coming from, Brandon. I do. I also think that I personally think that betting is just me is probably not something that everyone should have access to doing.
Yeah,
Because I think that gambling is an addiction. I think that it can cause an addiction. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's going to have a problem with it. That's not the case. I mean, there's lots of people that, smoke weed, do drugs, drink. They aren't alcoholics, drug addicts, whatever, But I do think the people that can, if you make it too easy to have access to, this isn't something where it's like, oh, I got drunk one night, made a mistake, whatever. There's people that will fucking bet their whole house, life savings on this shit and really put themselves in a bad position. It's just in general, I think betting in general, yeah, it should be allowed. I just think there needs to be a lot more regulation to it. And I think that it's perfectly normal for people like us to gamble. If you want to gamble, go for it. I just think that when you are involved with whatever the sport is, you have any sort of tie, you have any sort of connection that's more than just I could make a phone call to the FA right now kind of connection, or someone on the board, or someone that could officiate a game. I just think that you're too close to be allowed to gamble.
That's fair.
But I do get where you're coming from because the billionaires is another problem. That's a whole other thing.
Mine would be more of if we lived in a perfect world where everybody had integrity and didn't try to do stuff like that. But not
I
everybody.
agree.
Only
Yeah, if only.
Well,
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, do we want to real quick? We've all kind of had the game for a couple weeks. Talk about EAFC for a little bit.
It is probably I quit FIFA for 5 years, and it's probably the best game I've played since probably 2014 or 2015. It is phenomenal.
I don't know about phenomenal, but it's definitely a lot better than the last few FIFAs for sure. It's not gonna ever go back to like FIFA 13 or 14 when it was at its peak, but what it is, it's pretty good.
It's still insanely triggering.
Yes, that's kind of the joy of FIFA. You're just never gonna win, and the FIFA
Um,
AIDS is a real thing.
I do like. I think Ultimate Team. I think they. Okay, so the user interface in general is what I'm trying to get at. It's a lot cleaner, and I like it. I think they did a good job cleaning that up. Pro Clubs, which hopefully will run tonight, feels good.
Volta
Um,
is so much fun.
Still haven't played it. I might
Volta,
never play it.
Volta's a great time. It's frustrating, but it's a great time.
Volta's, in my opinion, I'm not gonna, because it's different for everybody. In my opinion, Volta's fun for like 10 minutes, and then after that, it's like this. It's extremely repetitive. So I can't. It's fun for like 10, maybe 15 minutes, but then after that, it's just like
Yeah, but
I need to do something.
But you could do it with co-op, with people, with friends. And
See, that would be
I
fun.
think
I know,
you
but
would.
no
I
one-
think you
but
would
if you're gonna
like
do
it more.
co-op- But if you're gonna do co-op, then just run pro clubs.
You can,
Yeah,
but
it's a
not.
different style
but so-
game.
Yeah, you
It's
only can
futsal.
have 5 people or 4 people on the field, including the goalkeeper. So 5. It's a 5-on-5.
I know, but I'm just saying that like in general, if there's gonna be like 5 people, not even just 5, it could be 4 people. 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna be like, "Hey, let's go to Volta." They're gonna say, "Let's do pro clubs."
You say that, but I also think
Unless
you.
they prefer Volta.
Yeah, and you also forget that in Volta, there's no offsides.
I haven't.
There is no throw-ins.
I know.
It's constant movement. It's constant dribbling. The halves are quicker. Like
I
it
just-
is a good time.
You're disrespecting the futsal community.
Say that again.
I said you're disrespecting the futsal community.
No, futsal's dope, bro. But it's like
But that's
I play
futsal.
futsal in real life, and futsal in real life is fun. I'm not saying futsal in EAFC isn't fun, but I just I after it's something to do with Volta. I can't do it for very long.
That's fair, but I would also argue that like if I play football in real life, I have a lot more fun playing football in real life than I do playing EAFC.
Oh yeah, obviously it's a video
That's
game.
what I mean. That's what your argument sounded to me. Like I get it if you don't like Volta. That's a personal choice. Where you were saying that Volta is fun in real life, but like not your thing. I'm like, yeah, football is my thing in real life, and
No,
I
I'm
love
talking
it.
about Volta in real life versus Volta as a video game.
Again, yes,
Futsal in
we're
real
saying the same thing. You said you like futsal in real life, don't like in the game. I said I could also argue if I didn't like EFC, I like football in real life and not the video game.
You just want to turn everything into an argument. So
No, I'm just saying it's a personal thing. I'm just challenging the thought process.
no, but like I'm just saying that like you just want to argue with every single point.
No.
So I'm not here to argue. I'm just
Daniel
pointing
doesn't
my
like Daniel
opinion,
doesn't
and
like
then you're
Volta.
Well, my
I
thing
mean,
is
like,
my thing
that's
is
my opinion.
my thing is Daniel's like Daniel. But I think the reason I'm challenging Daniel is because he's not just going like I don't like it. It's just not for me. He's going I don't like it. I don't really know why I don't like it. I can't really like pinpoint it. It's just not for me. I'm like that's
I
fine.
didn't say that. I
You-
just said
you
that
literally
after
did.
5,
You did
6
say it.
minutes.
You literally did.
I-
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you.
What do you mean?
You literally
You
did
did
say
say something
you
about
went. I don't like it because I guess there's not really a thing. It's just and then you went. It's just kind of boring. All right, that's valid.
That's not what I said. I said after 5 or 6 minutes, I have to do something else.
Yeah, which so you get bored of it because it's
Yeah.
repetitive.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. But you were like, yeah, there's just a lot of things wrong with it. I don't know. I don't really know.
I did not say that. That's not what I said at all.
Yeah, he didn't say that.
It's
He said, "I don't like
exaggeration.
it."
It's
Did not say that.
exaggeration.
He said what he said was, "I don't like it, but I don't know why."
That's
And now
also not what I said. I
that is
said
what you said. That is literally
but
what you
I
said.
said-
That is
what I said was-
categorically what you said.
categorically you're wrong.
No,
okay?
Daniel, I'll run the
What
tape
I
right back
said-
right now.
Shut your mouth.
What I said was, and obviously one of you guys are gonna record it, and then if I get fucked, it's
Obviously,
whatever.
it's been recording.
All I said was after like 5, 6, 7, maybe 10 minutes, I'm gonna have to do something else because it's repetitive. That's what I said.
What you actually said was 10 to 15 minutes.
You did say about 15.
10, 15 minutes either way. It's after a minute, I'm gonna have to do something else because
Oh, no,
Now it's a minute. No, but that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I get it. It's not for everyone. I get it. It's not for everyone.
Manager career mode seems more in depth. Same with player career mode. So
Player crew has been a lot of fun. Let me ask you guys.
Manager career is a lot of fun.
Yeah, those of you who have been playing it recent, like the more recent additions, when did they implement like for player career mode specifically? When did they implement like being able to sim to the certain point, like they do in NBA 2K? Like when did that come in? Because like when you're the newest one, the last one that just came
that
out.
wasn't
This one
FIFA
that just came
22.
Oh, this one just came. Okay, I didn't know if it was in FIFA 22 or
think
not
so.
because
What do you mean?
so
you talking about sim to
no
a
no
game?
no
Like
no
you
no
could
not simming a game. So for player career mode, last time I played was 18. This wasn't the case. If you were a bench player, you would either start or have to like sim up until a point where you could jump into the game. But like you go from like 0, you'd have to like watch the full game. I don't even think you could.
It was FIFA. It was FIFA 22 or FIFA 21.
Yeah, that's been a thing for a couple years.
That's why I want to know because like I said, I haven't played in 5 years. But I liked that a lot because I was like, oh, I don't have to like sit here. They'll just let me jump in when I'm supposed to get subbed
Actually,
in.
that came out whenever they did the Alex Hunter thing. Whatever year that was.
That was
2017.
19. I think.
Yeah, so it was that year.
Damn, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
I forgot about Alex Hunter.
I haven't played player career yet, but I need to.
It's fun. I'm playing with LAFC.
Yourself?
Nice.
Playing
Yeah,
LAFC.
I usually start in the MLS.
That's
Well, they
pretty
don't. Well, they
cringe.
don't have Liga MX, which I was gonna start.
Yeah.
It
Really?
broke my heart. Yeah, I think it's because if I remember correctly, they signed a contract with another. They may have signed a contract with Pez, low key,
That's probably what they did.
the Federation. Like, because for Pez, I'll probably offer them more money.
Yeah.
So
Is it? What is it? It's not even called Pez anymore. What's it called?
ultimate like football or something?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what it's called. eFootball 2024.
Gross. I don't know.
That sounds slippery as fuck.
You say slippery?
Yeah, it sounds slippery as fuck.
So let me ask you then this side. So we all kind of talked about the modes. What's your guys' favorite mode?
Manager
Ultimate Team.
career.
You like
I haven't
Ultimate
played
Team.
all of them yet, to be honest with you. Only one I played so far is manager and player, but
Pro Clubs is still
it's still the same. I'm just
Pro Clubs
afraid
is
to play
always
Ultimate
going to be good though.
yeah, Pro
just
Clubs
because
is probably
Ultimate
my
Team after like FIFA 15 or FIFA 16, where like drastically changed. I've just been afraid to play it, but I've heard it's good. I just don't like how they changed the whole like promotion demotion thing. As far as I know, it's not even really a thing anymore. Like you can still get promoted, but like getting demoted isn't a
You
thing.
can't get relegated. Yeah.
In Pro Club?
Man,
yeah. You
not Pro
can't-
Clubs, Ultimate
No.
Team,
Oh, Ultimate Team.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't get relegated in Ultimate Team.
which is kind of stupid. I kind of like the fact that like you can just get relegated, but
I
now they
don't-
took that away.
I don't know. I get where you're coming from, but I also I like that I get put in with people around the same skill level as me, and I'll consistently play with the same people with the same skill level as me. And like I know you could say that like if you start another profile, you'd have to restart, and like I get that, but I also think that, like as it gets later in the game, like promotion to, like and relegation the last couple FIFAs, like there are people that would get relegated from Division 1 and just jump straight back to division. Like you're just bouncing up and down sometimes for no reason.
Yeah, between divisions. Yeah, that's just annoying.
Just stay in one division. And then now but now I like it because they took away promotion relegation. They brought in was it the weekend challenge?
The weekend league.
Yeah, weekend league where you have to qualify for the weekend league. So like you may not be getting
Yeah,
promoted or relegated, but you still got to qualify for this league.
Yeah, weekend league's tough.
Yeah, that's why I think it's actually more competitive than before. And
By
now they've had it for a couple years, it's not as shitty as it was when they first tried implementing everything in 2016. Because I'm with you, Daniel. I think it really took a nosedive, and now I never touched it since. And this is the first one I've touched Ultimate Team in years, and I think it's so much fun. Like,
I just love Ultimate Team because I love building my team. It's so much fun to do that. To
See,
grind your way to the best cards.
See, I just kind of wish that like there
Pay to
was
play?
no chemistry.
Huh?
You don't pay to play?
No.
Nah, fuck that. But I just kind of wish there was no chemistry. Because when I think of Ultimate Team, I'm like, yo, there's a lot of players that like I'd love to put in a team, and it's just like, oh, they don't play in the same league or the same nationality.
Well, chemistry's a lot different now to where they made it to where it's a lot more easy to implement different players from different
There
leagues.
there is no chemistry anymore.
No, there is chemistry.
It's just not the same.
It's just not It's just not like the 100% chemistry. It's still based on position leagues.
It's 33% chemistry.
Yeah, so it's like you get 3. It's like
Oh,
I think
33
it's
chemistry.
like for every player in like it depends on like how many players are from the same league, same country. Obviously,
Yeah.
position you get one chemistry for the position. So I guess you're right. I guess I just haven't tried customizing enough yet. I've just been running a Brazilian squad.
I'm not sure if, and that's what I was like. I think it allows for players to be like you can choose players a lot more easily that you want. But the way that the old chemistry was set up kind of allowed that too, because I mean, like you might have to shoehorn somebody in that you don't necessarily want. But it wasn't hard to get green links with the old chemistry.
I don't think it's that hard to get full 3-bar links here. I mean,
It's
but
not.
also, I'm running a full Brazilian squad, so
Yeah.
that also is not fair.
The understanding of the chemistry for me is a lot more difficult than it was in previous FIFAs.
Now, comments can slate me if they want, because I'm not gonna sit here and go, I know exactly what I'm talking about. But from what it looks like is when you pull up and like you see in the top left corner where it says like 33 F 33, it has a list, and it looks like
I know it has the list, but it's still kind of
I think
I still am just kind of like I don't know if this is right.
I think it just kind of starts categorizing it by the majority of players and teams. So like once you have a lot of like if you've got a lot of one nationality, I think that's where the chemistry starts being based off of. And I think if you've got a lot of like certain leagues, that's where the chemistry gets based off of. But I could be wrong.
Well, it's like if you have 2 players from one club, they get one. You know, like each player has 3 stars. They get a star for that. So if you have 2 players from one club, both of those players get a star. If you have 3 players from one nationality, all 3 of those players get a star. And then it just gets
crazy.
Yeah, just you can have some crazy combinations. It's a little complicated. I just stick to a full French team just because that's what I always run.
But I also like it because you get more customization. I just need to learn how to customize.
Yes, and then another thing is the player instructions and the formation, or not formations, but like roles.
Oh, my favorite thing.
Just player instructions and what's the other thing?
The like defensive structures, tactical structures.
Yeah, you can change like the attacking and defensive structures.
But you've been able to do that for years.
Yeah, but it's just
It was
nice.
very basic.
It still is really basic.
Yeah,
it's more advanced, but yeah, it's.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not that much more advanced, but I'm also really. I play FM, so like that's why I'm also like it is very basic. It is super basic.
Oh, but it's like no, but like back then compared to now, like back then was like ultra attacking, ultra defending, like attacking, defending, neutral.
And now you can go into those.
I disagree though.
Now there's like playing styles.
Oh
like,
yeah, that yeah.
Because
like that's literally it's not. I'm not saying it's exactly like Football Manager. But I'm just saying that like compared to back then, it's more in depth.
I forgot about that. I agree with you there. I was talking more of like the actual like because Brandon mentioned like the positions and like the roles they play, and I'm like it really hasn't changed much. Like you can still a lot of it's still just come short, come forward, stay in your position, not stay in your position.
Yeah.
The one that I liked was the new fullback role. At least it's new to me. That like step up role where it's like the old tightly mark. I like that. That is nice.
What I like about the player instructions is that you can change it within. So like if you're ultra attacking, you can have like your center back play as a striker. Whereas if you're ultra defending, and then you can change your formation based off what you choose.
I guess that's true. I never tried the playstyle, so that's fair.
So yeah, that's really nice because that way you don't have to pause the game go to ultra defensive and then change your formation and do all that. You can just do that automatically through the directional pad.
Oh, fair enough. Well, yeah, I guess that's fair. But I feel like you've been able to do that for a while. Like at least have like a player play as a striker and stuff. I could be wrong, but pretty sure it's been like that in the past. Like not just
It's
moving
been
like.
that. It's been like that for 2 or 3 FIFAs.
I feel like
Maybe
it's been there
4.
for longer. Yeah, I want to say because like I said, I quit in like 2017, 2018. So I want to say that was already an implementation then. I could be wrong.
Maybe. I'd have to go back onto the old FIFAs and look.
I'll never go back onto those old FIFAs.
All right. Real quick, Daniel, 1 to 10, EAFC.
7.5.
I was gonna say I'll say an 8. Brandon,
I was gonna say a 7.
Jose.
I think it's an 8.5, honestly.
Hmm.
We're all around the same spot.
Yeah, just comparatively from what we've had in the last couple years. I think it is an 8.5. I think if it's like based on like there's certain mechanical issues, all right, fair. You drop it down to like a 8, 7.5 maybe, but I just think for what we've had in the last couple years, it's pretty fun.
Yeah,
I think that's the key word. It's fun.
Yeah,
like it is a great fucking time.
it is. It is. All right. Well, that concludes this episode. We will have Premier League back next week. All leagues back next week. So
yeah, we're touching up on all leagues now. We're changing it up. Tell him, Edward.
yes, sir. I put a list in the notes of a potential list to do next week. So we might.
Nice. Look hot.
And we'll get
fun.
We'll get Abdon's list and maybe post it on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
We should actually post all of our lists on Twitter. We always talk about that, but we never do. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks for listening. You know where to find us. CONCACAF Connection on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Even though we don't use the Twitch.
We do sometimes.
Yeah, we live stream sometimes.
YouTube,
yeah.
Yeah.
So hit us up, subscribe, comment, follow, like, retweet, repost.
Argue with us.
I argue with us.
Yeah. The one thing that we really need to start doing is posting on TikTok, and I've been really bad at it, and I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
Sam.
I'll do better. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Peace
Goodbye.
out.